Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever's in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. We're so glad to be hosting another episode of this great show. My God, my skin looks like it's shiny bright under these lights today. Anyway, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting, and my mic's not on. Damn it. That was good because that intro sucked. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live, wherever in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to another day, December 13th, 2024, one day closer to Christmas, one day closer to my birthday, one day closer to the day the sun goes supernova and solves all of our Bitcoin, XRP, and other problems. Anyway, as I always like to say, my co-host Pedro Garcia in the house. Pedro, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Oh. Apparently I said December 13th, but it's December 17th.
It's a really beautiful day. I cannot complain. I had to deal with the... Yes, today's December 17th. I was not going to call that out. I was going to keep rolling until you kept it up. But we'll leave that one alone. Leave it alone. It's been one of them days.
Hey, just had technical difficulties. We're late today. Doug Mark just about to hit the live button. All is good. But what is good is that we're at 107,000, and all is good up there on the great chart above my head there. Oh, an interesting start of the day. Anyway, who's with us here today?
We got some good people here as well. We got...
I got an echo.
Oh, dude.
Great. Do you hear me in echo, Pedro?
There we are. That's so... I do not. But you know what? I had a friend of mine who reached out to me because he watched our show. And he's like, your thumbnail, that girl is ridiculous. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, the girl we had on. He goes, no. The thumbnail of the girl. And I started laughing. I said, what? So I went to go look at it. And I guess my friend got captivated by the
caricature or the photo?
With you, dude. Yeah, the caricature of her. He's like, that just... And I started, for whatever reason, he was like, dude, that threw me for a loop. And so every time he would look at her, he would then imagine the caricature of her. And I was just like laughing. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. And I said, huh. I didn't think anything twice behind it. Yeah. But it must have worked because we had a decent amount of people who kind of viewed that. So, I mean.
Weird.
There you go.
Test.
You know what? Test. Anyhow, so I can see we've got quite a few people here. Shout out to our regulars, which rocks the mic. We got Kaching. We got Roland Rod. What up? We also got Space Cat. How you doing? Pedro, not Peter. Wait. Peter sound good. Peter sounds good, but you got an echo, Tom. Oh, you already got that.
Echo. It's not echoing for Pedro, so it must mean it's a show thing. I don't know why.
I'm looking at. Yeah, there's still. Yep. No, it's echoey. I'm still hearing you. I don't hear it, but I can hear it on the show. So I got it playing while you're playing. So he's working that out right here. Yeah, but it was a beautiful day though. I actually sun is shining. I got a little bit of sunshine. Went for a walk and it was good. And then all of a sudden came back and my internet was gone. And I was like, why is my internet gone? Why isn't it work? At first I thought computer or something happened and I was like, why can't, and I'm glad I took off my trade. Um, and then for whatever reasons, I called up my internet provider and they're like, oh, we see what the issue is. We stopped charging you on your internet. And I said, okay, why did you do that? And they couldn't give me a direct answer. They just basically said that it was messing up. And so I said, okay, alrighty. And so they then started overcharging me. And I guess the overcharges are $10 now. Used to be, I thought it was like 250,
You're
for
looking
an
at
overcharge.
your browser, not anything else.
I know, I know. I'm just jibber jabbering until you come
Check
aboard.
1212.
Okay, you're good then? I don't hear anything. Are you guys hearing anything? I don't. Yep, you're still echoey. Still echoey. Still echoey. We are working on that technical difficulties. But the other on the side note, which I thought was really interesting, is this picture here today. I turned my computer on because I had to turn it back on and turn it back on. And I thought, wow, how beautiful is this picture? I don't even know where this is at. But all I said was, wow, it's really pretty. Just, and it could be like a horrible place of like, maybe, I don't know, some communist place or whatever.
Some
But this
communist
right,
place.
I don't know, but I just thought it was really pretty. And then I thought to myself, hmm, what is this right here? So I tried zooming in on it. It was all pixelated, but I was trying to figure out where this was. And you know, maybe I should
Remember, we're not looking at anything on your screen. It's just the.
I know my actual screen, my background. You should see like a little town or a city here. And is he still got the echo, guys? Give me a second. Let me play this here.
Oh, my problem is that I've had a. Oh, this day is getting
Yep.
really good.
Ain't there an echo?
There we
Yep.
go. It's just slow.
Oh,
Giving my system a minute to catch up here, Pedro. We're starting out this show
perfect.
really great today.
All right. I don't hear an echo. We're good. Okay. Well, let's check out Bitcoin as we speak. By the way, if you guys could hit that like, subscribe button, and share button, that would really, really help us out. As well as you get this great edutainment here with us as we go over the market and what's actually happening in the world. And additionally to that, I always say to everybody, you know what's interesting about crypto is if it's down, it won't be down for long. And it's interesting. The market yesterday sold off, kind of like what I was expecting. And then we came inches.
I don't know what the heck is going on today, Pedro.
Then it literally skyrocketed
Hold on, Pedro.
to
We're
all-time
having
high.
technical
And then sold off again,
difficulties.
which is what we kind of expect, right?
Can you hear me,
All-time
Pedro?
high, liquidity there goes down. So and then skyrocket in like just one of them days. I gotta love it. So here's the thing though, we came down into our area of that 105 to 250 to the 105 110. We saw a fine support. This is the other part. So typically in these levels, when I
Wow, something weird is really going on here.
was looking at the 2 hour.
Hey, Pedro, can you hear me? Pedro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where Pedro went there.
He cannot hear me, guys. Can you guys hear me?
You've just come back, Pedro. Can you hear me?
Just let me know. Can you guys hear me?
Pedro, Earth to Pedro.
Yep, I can hear you.
You disappeared for a while there.
Yep,
Like
I am
either your
here.
internet connection happened. Ever since the beginning of the BTC thing, your screen disappeared and then your voice came in and out. And my little meter over here that's monitoring their internet connection says you're all blurry. I don't know what the audience is seeing.
Okay, I know. I actually just realized something. I'm glad something populated here. Give me 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the quality entertainment you get here on the DYOR Media
turn
Network.
this off,
only the finest of entertainment here, the finest of technical
Wallin
virtual studios, bringing you the latest information. By the time the information gets from my microphone and Pedro's microphone to your ear, it's 20 minutes stale. and from the rabble in the back here, I hear the word shit show. Thank you, Space Cat.
Yes. As of right now, yes.
I've actually lost half of my. Yeah, Mrs. Striking in the back is like, you just need to call it. Just say, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So glad to have hosted another show today. Yeah, Kaching say, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? That's the old, is it Verizon? Verizon guy, cell phone guy? Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that was Verizon. Yep. Can you hear me? Yep. Well, there we at. We are at Verizon.
When we can do these shows 1,000 times fine, and then just one day
I should be able. I should be good now.
Work. Well, let's hit the magic button here, Pedro, and see what happens.
Alrighty, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you, Pedro.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. We hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys, about that. Okay, so we came down yesterday. I was talking about if once we close, I said we got to stay above that 15-period moving average, right? Which was right here. And as we were bouncing here, I said we got to stay above us. And I believe we started around 12:30, so that was about right here. Came down, started bouncing, but as soon as we closed below that 15-period moving average on that 15-minute, which you saw, which was the trending SMA, we saw that it closed and it just sold off down into our area right here. And then from there, I said, be ready for it to bounce off of this area and then see it continue up into most likely at least to the highs of the day, if not higher. And so that's exactly what we saw. Boom, into the market here, and they pushed it up again to drop it. So we would look at that 30-minute area and go, okay, it is showing weakness on the 30-minute and also on that hour on these nice little moving averages. And so these nice little cute moving averages were communicating to us, hey buddies, we're looking to go down. Hey, how you doing? We're going to probably go down here. So that's what it did. It went down. And then this little pretty purple 8-period moving average here came down into our lower levels.
Crypto Mike
here,
in the house. Welcome, Crypto Mike.
And then pushed back up. This nice little cute, adorable looking candle here. If you notice, I'm using a lot of unique words that I normally don't use. You know what? I thought it nice little pretty, but it reminds me of the guy who used to do the paintings. Remember with the fro in the 70s and 80s that we grew up watching?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, baby. The true OG. He's like, oh, let's put a nice little pretty bird here.
All right, Pedro.
What a nice little.
What you explained it here on the air, but to me earlier today too.
Yes.
How on the open today, kind of squish it down a little so we can see the open. Try and I planned on talking about this with my other mic, but I've been getting an echo. Here, I can't even point to it. Screw it. Anyway, it went up, and right before it dropped down in this big long red channel here, the market opened with that green. Or first it pushed down where Pedro's vertical line is there. That
Go
up
ahead.
and down
Do it
line.
again. Do it again. Do it.
A
You
little bit more. I don't know why I can't come over there today. All right, so this today we opened right about there. So it came down, and then they pushed it up, and everyone's like, it's like, ooh, this is good. It's going to push up, and the day's going to go to all-time high. I'm thinking we're going to have an all-time high on the show today. Woohoo! And then immediately went wah, 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 all the way down here, coming back towards Pedro's levels, which he had called yesterday in the 105 area. Now scooch over a little, Pedro.
All right, gonna move on. No, moving along. Tell me when to stop.
And that's good. And then it rebounded all morning here, coming up, giving everyone hope. And which chart is this? Is this the 5 minute?
5 minute. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's 5 minute.
But anyway, I'm just having trouble seeing colors here this morning because everything is working just a little off this morning. Came up above these SMAs right here just now, just a few minutes ago here.
I'm sorry. It's
I know.
one of them
totally
days.
Short day for Technical Tuesday. It's everything. Everything was fine this morning. I had programmed the show last night. I wasn't even late. All right, it popped up again over the 200 period moving average here, and now is starting its way up. Is this part of your sign that you were talking about yesterday, coming back down and then heading up towards 110, or is it still in the cards to come back down to 105 into your zone?
No, I'm definitely expecting this to go up. You can check out here. Now, remember, I always say, sorry, don't mean to have that in your guys' ear. Now, if you guys notice, remember, I'm always talking about how, if it comes down, are they putting in seller wicks? And you can see here, there's no real resistant levels except for up here. Okay. So as it's coming down, it's most likely going to easily come back up. And so as it easily comes back up, we want to see if as it's coming up, are we putting in demand wicks on a smaller time frame? You can see here, demand wicks, demand wicks, demand wicks. Do we have any supply wicks? No, we do not. So it was able to fill up the amount of sellers as we were coming down so that we could actually go through and most likely push up to a 110 area. The key is it's got to find a trending area. So for me, I'm looking at this 15-minute area where we can start to follow it as we continue up. Again, just like up here that I talked about yesterday, if we start to show weakness below that 15-minute period time frame here, we'll most likely want to come back and test.
That's the 8 areas here moving average
on the 15-minute. Now, remember, I don't look at just one time frame. I look at multiple time frames, and because what happens is everything's sequential, and every time period has its time to shine. And so you need to understand that if you can't find that trending time frame, you need to figure that out. See which one is in control. And that's the
market.
key.
The market is following the moving average on one of the time frames of the charts.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find it. You got to look for it.
You got to look for it. It's like where's Waldo? Or where is Carmen Sandiego? Where's the time? Where's the time frame? What time frame's in control? And so that's why it's so important for me.
Welcome AI Wolf to the house. He's at work.
What's
Hope
up,
things
man?
are going good. Thanks for listening to us while you're at work. And he gave us a whole bunch of robot heads there. Thank you very much.
Good to have you, brother. AI Wolf.
Welcome everyone joining us on Rumble. I started that stream a little
Rumble?
late. Thankfully, you missed all the morning technical difficulties and got right into the Bitcoin analysis. Bitcoin analysis so far as it went down, then it went up, then it went down a lot, and then it slowly went up a little bit. Then it came down just a touch, and then it popped up amongst the above the 200 period moving average for the 1 minute and the 5 minute, maybe even the 15 minute.
I think it might even got to the 15 minute. Mm-hmm.
No, it was above the 200. Way above it. That different.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we going up.
So we are moving on up. Now, one of the things I think is so interesting is with Technical Tuesday here, we're going to go over some things going to be very unique. One of the things I'm going to bring up in trading is looking at your risk to reward. If you keep a tight risk.
Hold on. What, are you peeling an apple?
No, I am not peeling an apple.
You're not using nail clippers, are you?
No, I'm not using nail clippers. Why do you care about this?
Because all we hear in this thing on the side over here is like a clip, 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 clip.
Oh
no!
No!
Leaned over.
What are you talking about?
Is he peeling an apple?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I am not peeling anything except for. And you should be asking, what's he going to say? What's he peeling? What is he peeling? I am peeling the market back for you guys, so you guys can sit there and see what is actually happening in the market. Boo, 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 boo. Wow.
Cha-ching. Thanks for joining us all the way from Minnesota. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Minnesota's in the house. Shout out to
Fire Chicken in the house. No, that's from yesterday. Sorry. He's not in the house yet. He will be.
He shall be. Shall we call? How is Fire Chicken doing anyways?
I haven't looked at it since the show yesterday.
It's really impressive to see us. I'm kind of excited to see what he's actually going to do. Mr. Fire Chicken. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joe, I think I'm going to go use our BitFi account here and go long on BTC.
Well, just wait. It's a new hour. So you want to see.
How long to the new hour?
It's right now.
Oh, yeah, right.
So always look. It's an hour time. So if it goes down first, it should go up at the end. So we want to see what direction it wants to go. And you can see how the wicks here are bigger than that small little wick on the hour. So be thinking. Mm-hmm. Do you see it?
I see that we're above 3 of the moving averages on your screen.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fourth one is.
Fourth one is below us.
Oh, it's way down there on the bottom. I see.
Yep. But also, to be paying attention to is if we're going to continue up, we want to see what's going on with it. So we can sit there and say, okay, the last half hour was up. We went up, put a nice little demand wick right here. Now we're continuing up. We want to see this find support if it's going to continue up. Right now it's showing a little weakness because I want to see if we're going to continue up. Volume step right in right off the jump. I want to see a lot of volume come in.
Right at the top of the hour, right?
Exactly. And that lets us know if it's going to continue up. So I'm a little remiss to sit there and say, it's probably going to come down and test some lows before it pushes up.
All right. Well, let's. It looks out from looking at the.
So we'd sit there and say, what is it testing?
Mm-hmm.
It switched on you. They switched on you because those moving average on the 5 minute aren't really holding strong, right? So I want to sit there and look now on the 15. So we most likely going to go down.
Looked like it was starting to follow the 8 period, but now it seems to be diverging from that.
Right, because it's showing weakness here. So because there wasn't a lot of volume coming in. So we want to sit there and look at your 15. And your 15 will show that it's most likely going to come down test first. If it's going to continue up, great. But I want it to prove to me that it's going to continue up versus me jumping in too quick. Right? The key is you prove to me. Because the key is risk to reward. This is the most important thing in trading, meaning what you risk, the amount of money, is more important than your ability to make money. Because if you don't got money to make, then you can't have money to play. So you need to make sure that your risk,
money to risk,
yes, is more important. So we want the market to prove to us that it's going to continue up. So that's it. And so I'm kind of waiting. Still with the first 5 minutes, we can just wait. If it's going to continue up, great.
Alpha Wolf says, haha, Tom said 8 period as if he knew what Pedro was talking about. I'm slowly learning here, Alpha Wolf. I'm slowly learning, sucking it all in.
Just getting it in.
Ching says, hi, Carmen. That means Carmen Crypto's in the house. Carmen Crypto says, good morning, Chumbalones. So thanks for joining us all the way from the great state of Nevada. I am coming to you from the great state of Canada today.
How is Canada doing, by the way? You guys almost
It's
died.
a dumpster fire shit show right now.
That's an understatement. You guys are definitely having fun. I would not want to be what are those people who have to work for the government? I don't know, you guys call them different. Like we call them civil servants, but
Yeah, they're the same. Civil servants. They're all
okay.
Bureaucrats, civil servants. No drones here. There's no drones here. Canadians can't afford any, so.
Yeah, those are fun. We got all those drones going on right now.
I really, really enjoy the morons on the internet. They're like, look, it's an Iranian drone. It's an Iranian mothership drone. And then it's like a Cessna airplane. Or the other one, it is obviously a drone. It's something flying around. But it has the FAA blinking lights on it, the green and the red and the white. So are the Iranians going to come sneak all the way to our coastline and then run drones with the blinking lights on them that match the pattern that you're required to run in the U.S.? Or would they try to be quiet? And then they're like, ooh, you can't see them on infrared. There's no heat coming off them. Yet they're blinking the FAA light pattern.
I agree.
It's just a collection of really stupid people. And someday it'll come out that somebody was searching for something or trying some new way to find whatever of the 83 conspiracy theories are on the internet. One of them's going to turn out to be true. And it's just it's the weirdest thing. And then, like, because Newark Airport is there, Teterboro, LaGuardia, JFK. There are so many planes in that space of all sizes. Helicopters, news helicopters, police helicopters. And it's like there's 83 videos on the internet. Look, more drones. And then a 747 Atlas cargo flight from Anchorage, Alaska goes overhead. And they're like, it's a drone. Oh, my God. And you're like, no, it says Atlas Airlines on the side of it.
Why are people freaking out about drones, though?
Well, there are a whole bunch of drones flying overhead. And what some people are doing, I'm sure there's plenty of drone owners trolling the neighbors out of this. Because
absolutely,
frankly, I would be. And there's now a whole 3D printing thing that goes around it, where you can literally print the Millennium Falcon in this super lightweight plastic and put it around some of the drones, and it'll fly around like the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, that's epic.
And like, there's one that's a spinning ball. They're like, oh my gosh, it's anti-gravity. No, it has drone things in it, and the ball spins from the air going around it. Looks like we got a viewer on Kick. There is missing nuclear waste, and the Gov is trying to locate it. That's one of the theories. That's definitely not for sure true. If it was that urgent to find it, the emergency broadcast system would be going off saying everyone needs to go look for this. But it's a possibility. But the problem is that they would be searching for it all the time. They're not. It stops at 11 o'clock at night. Boop. There's no more drones. And then they're not during the day. So they're only searching for it at night. Doesn't make any sense that they're looking for radioactive waste. During the night, it's easier to see temperature differences in which it might be a pipeline leak. That part of the country, if you go to look at the pipeline map, that part of the country has so many pipelines going through it. Gasoline, natural gas. There's heating oil.
Dirty Jersey.
Yeah, literally, Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's where all the pipelines go, because if you've ever been to Elizabeth, it's awful with chemicals.
The smell is amazing.
And at night, you can see temperature differentials from high pressure gas coming out of pipelines and other stuff like that. So it could be that. But why no one's telling us what it is? I mean, if it was something simple like the gas company saying, or even the government or a pipeline company saying, oh, sorry, we're looking for this leak. We can't find it. We have to use these drones. They would have told us. I don't believe it's nuclear waste. You know, there's all these theories that 80 nuclear bombs have gone missing in Ukraine and all that. There's so many people that don't understand nuclear physics.
Even Trump was like, bro, it's nothing to worry about.
I mean, nuclear physics is we're to the point now. We're to the point is that using detectors, we can tell exactly what type of radiation is. It's people that are on that went for the barium X-ray thing, set off
is that like
detectors
Siberian?
in the subway system of New York, because they have nuclear detectors down there, and they can tell. It's like, oh, it's just a person that had a barium MRI or whatever it is. We can tell from regular nuclear radiation what reactor it was made from, in what year and what batch it was, whether it was ours, whether it was French, whether it was Russian, whether it was Chinese, whether it was the new stuff from the UAE. And you can tell. You can tell by the what's being emitted out of it. It's not rocket science. It's nuclear science, and it's very, very simple. And now with neutrino detectors, the neutrino detectors down in the Arctic and under Lake Erie and stuff can detect when radiation is not where it's supposed to be. You can triangulate it. So you have to pay a lot of attention to that. I don't believe the conspiracy theories about nuclear waste, but I do believe there's all kinds of other issues going on. Plus a whole ton of people trolling the neighbors, the Karens and Chads of the neighborhood. Because I would be. If I lived out there and had a drone and the neighbor was a Karen or a Chad, I'd be like...
Which is very common in Jersey. If y'all remember Jersey Shores and how they would troll each other and have a good time with it, right? That's not to say that that's common, but you know, like, go watch what's that one with I forget the guy's name. Shoot, remember on the Snickers commercial when the guy'd get all mad, he'd be like, "Get over here," and he'd be like the short little mobster guy. Do you remember? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Remember the Aretha Franklin Snickers commercial?
No, there was another one. Anyways, like you channel, like they just mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Like other parts of the country don't really mess with you. You know, like you talk to your neighbor, like, yeah, but like you're not a real neighbor unless somebody's messing with you. Then you know you're part of the team.
Torches and pitchforks, you're right. New Jersey, parts of New Jersey do smell like sulfur, especially around Elizabeth. It smells a lot like benzene.
But it's good. It's good. Yeah.
And then Newark Airport is right there. That place around there has got to be a cancer center. I'm from New Jersey, further south of that. The prevailing winds blow that shit up towards Staten Island and Long Island. So in southern Jersey, we don't get it. Anyway, thanks for finding us on Kick. On Rumble. On Rumble. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the Rumble crowd over there. Rumble's been doing well for us.
Yeah.
As you may suspect, because we're a digital asset focused show, we didn't have much support for the Biden administration. In fact, our sister show, the Crypto Swamp Creatures, new episode is out this morning at 10 a.m. All about the Operation Choke Point. Not Choke Point 1, but it's Choke Point 2, in which the U.S. government put the screws to crypto companies via debanking them, and how the Trump administration's appointees are just going to eviscerate that policy, and that I am sure emanated from Elizabeth Warren and crew. Not only that, but I bet some people are going to go to jail from it, because there are very specific U.S. government laws, and in almost every every jurisdiction, governmental jurisdiction, saying you're not allowed to use your government position to impede the private industry, except through legislation and regulation.
Where
To
everybody's
use your
able to see it,
influence to screw people and put it over someone. And there was a great article on I don't remember Forbes or whatever it was yesterday, talking about how a lot of this stuff in the Operation Choke Point, they did over meetings at the club. So it was verbal, and there was no written things for it, which of course leads to people saying, well, it didn't really exist, it was conspiracy, that type of stuff, because that's what I do. I'm like, well, I doubt conspiracies. But we've had our guest here, Caitlin Long, on here talk about how she has had trouble getting bank accounts. Mark Andreessen, famous inventor of basically the internet, the modern
very
internet,
much talks about it on Joe Rogan.
Web browsing. Yeah, he went on Joe Rogan and said, look, I have 30 tech companies, or 100 tech companies.
Yeah, 30.
30 of them have been debanked just because all of a sudden they were given a phone call and said, you got to come down and get your cash out. We can't even transfer it to another account. And that was very eye-opening, because I knew it was going on subtly, but I didn't know it was that bad. Sure enough, it was that bad.
Yeah, man. And the part that's so scary behind it is that, again, I'm not one party or another. Like many of you guys know, I have many, I lean left in certain ones and I lean right on other ones, right? And the scary part behind it is the idea that we can actually be pushed out of the system in a free system. This is why I preach DeFi so hard, because this is why I fight against us allowing the government to come into DeFi. And if you're going to come into DeFi, it needs to play by DeFi rules. We don't play by their rules. And this is one thing I love about Trump, is he gets and it was really interesting. I heard him yesterday talk about Barron, his son, and how he was like, and this is what blew me away. Like Joe Rogan Trump didn't know who Joe Rogan was. And I thought was so interesting is how his son was like, Dad.
That was obviously a long time ago.
Well, no, it was recent. The only he didn't really know who Joe Rogan was until he went on his show. Shortly before he went on his show, he didn't really know who he was. And so this idea that he focuses, on, because obviously he's worth, he may be worth $5 billion. Once you're worth, it was really interesting, and I heard this from another person on the All In podcast. They were talking about how once you're worth over $100 million, everything's just hard to, you really can't spend your money after that point. Once you're at $1 billion, it's very hard to waste your money. $100 million, yeah, you can blow it.
You're making money very passively a lot every day, so it's
just hard. It's just and so the stuff that you buy actually end up as an asset. Okay, I'm gonna buy this building because it's worth $100 million, but all of a sudden that building, not only are you getting the capital appreciation from it of the actual building itself, but then you're also getting the actual the return from the actual residents within that area. Now, obviously, there's always situations where it doesn't work out, right? But on the back end, though, you're always able to make money. The reason I jumped to this, Trump, whether he's a billionaire or 100+ millionaire, he's worth 500 million. At that point, it really doesn't matter how wealthy you are. You don't ever have to really stress about money, nor does your family have to, because the passive. And so when Trump's son said, Dad, you don't know who Joe Rogan is? I could sit there and kind of believe no, he wouldn't, because he's so focused on other things and him setting things up. And plus his golf hit, right? And then to sit there and say, and then when my son told me about this, I realized, wow, this is a smart thing. I realized and he does his Trump, stuff. But the fact that he listens to his son that well and really hears him, and the fact that he listens to his family, and watching how they're actually working through the legalization of their crypto project, and they fine-tuned it so that they could actually get through the SEC, right? They have to understand DeFi on an intrinsic level. In addition to, they have to understand it, how it works. That's got to bleed in how Trump sees DeFi. And in the same sense, I know, I mean, I don't know, but I would assume that he's hearing, they have the closest people to him are his family. We know that. And so if his son Barron understanding is trading, I'm pretty positive he's trading meme coins. Yeah, I bet
I'm
you
sure
do.
he is. Right.
Like, why would you not? And then to use, and I, dude, if I was him, which I'm glad I'm not, right? I'd hate to have to be 18 years old again. But
I would love it. Things would be so different.
bro, not even close. I would, yeah, 18. Even now, I would hate to be 18. I mean, I like, in a sense, when you're 18, like,
It was super side tangent here.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, okay. Side note, let's look at this. So we're talking about the 15-minute, right? It coming down to our 15-minute 8-period moving average, right? On BTC. Side note. So you can see how we're starting to come and tap into this level here. And so I'm going to post this here so we can sit there and play off. Come on. We need to see how it's going to play off of this area. So the first 10. Okay, nice. Nice.
Cleo, welcome to the show. Really appreciate it, Cleo. Yes, he never listens. The last now he learns his lesson because he's more humble.
What was it?
I'm not sure.
Yes, he never listens through last. Maybe you're talking about Trump in his first term, and his second term now he's a little bit more humble. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
Definitely going to be the case.
Yeah, honestly, it's really interesting. Is I don't think he was trying to be boastful. I don't even know. It's just partly his personality trait. He's a pretty. I mean, when he said he was a Christian, and then people ask, so what do you repent for? And he goes, why do I need to repent? Like, it's like, bro, that's the tenet of Christianity, is that you are to repent. Like innately you're sinful. And he's like, what are you talking about? So I said, we'll see. But on the back end, I think him understanding Washington, him understanding what's actually happening, and what's actually moving into the market. On a side note, Tom, so if this thing goes green, okay, if we see this go up through this area and it goes green, okay, this is where I want you to go long. Okay, so we need to sit there and wait for it. And we're talking a 5-minute chart here. So once this 5-minute thing comes here, then if it comes down into our level here and pushes up, we want to go long here. So this is the level that we're waiting for. And then if it crashes through this, then we got to go through the 30-minute, find out what's going to happen. But right now we're kind of waiting to see if this is going to continue up here at this level. And if this goes green around the 230 mark, 220 mark, then this is where we want to go long. Just giving you a heads up so you know. Okay. Minute wise, remember it's broken up every sequential, because remember we break up the head, right? So you have your wick, the body, and the wick. And so it's creating the bottom wick, and then it's now being pushed up. And so we wait till half mark of that 5-minute to see if we're going to see it continue up. And so as you can see, we're now halfway through it, and it created the demand wick, right? And we should see this thing continue. Our stop area right here is we want to sit there once it shows strength, which it's not showing strength right now. I gotta move that here real quick. Settings. Let's move this here. Sorry. Events, key facts today. There we are. Hit OK. All right. You can see here we want to wait and see if it's going to follow through. And so right now, this amount of sellers, we are 1 minute into this. It's not a lot of amount of sell pressure there. So it's probably going to continue down, kind of mosey down until maybe we get down into this level here, which is going to be around that 12 potentially here. And that would be
the 106,640 level.
Yeah, the 106, 640-ish area. It's at the previous hour. But I'm pretty positive we're going to find support right here at these levels here. So right here, that 107 area, and then continue up. But it's got to close green. So I want to see a green candle here. This is what we're looking for. So we got 8 seconds, 5 seconds. We'll see what's up. All right, did not. So it's going up.
Started green.
Yeah, I'd expect it. It's a pretty good amount.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro and I have been going on here for 40 minutes and have not taken the 20-minute break that we're supposed to take. All right. We'll be right back after this 2-minute break. If you get ads, please let them play through. We'll be right back.
Please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for putting up with our commercial break there. Needed to happen. So did the required bathroom break. Sit here and I drink tea all day. Every once in a while you get to that point, you're like, gotta go.
So we pushed through this here. So I expect us to come back down to this level down here and test that hourly candle. Or we can test the 30-minute as well. So we'll see what happens. This could be multiple levels here. So either it could be down in this level here, or up in this level here. So we'll see what happens as it comes down. We shall find out. Alrighty then. Well, let's check out a couple other things here because this is Technical Tuesday. So
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Technical Tuesday. All we've done is talk about Bitcoin for the past 40 minutes, but we're learning. I'm trying to learn better, so it's all good.
So real interesting that the S&P 500 gapped up like a mofo. Actually, excuse me.
But on the open this morning?
No, on the futures. On the futures, we gapped up pretty strong. And it was really interesting to sit there and see what was actually happening in the market. Oh, my bad. Let's go ahead, go to the daily. So this is the S&P 500 right now. We gapped down on the S&P, but on the futures, we gapped up. And it's what I find interesting is the futures is at an all-time high coming down, whereas the spot market, the cash market here, is literally kind of showing weakness. So from a technical standpoint, I'm sitting and I'm like, is this thing, like, is this diverging? Like, is this, because we saw stuff like this back in 2008. You would see things like major situations, whereas even though the market was going, like the futures market would go up, the spot market, the cash market, money was coming out. So you would see this fluctuation between the two. And so like, with everything that's happening in the world right now, with literally, Germany kind of falling apart, with Canada falling apart, we're watching the carry trade for the yen start having issues again, right? We're seeing wars. We're hearing Trump didn't make it really clear that he had good relationships with Putin, right? So there's these things that are going on. Him talking about how he's going to basically, if the Gaza situation doesn't get taken care of, he's going to come in with blazing hands. And there was that reporter that said, would you do a preemptive strike before you came on? And he sits there and he reprimands I don't know if many of you guys saw that, but he reprimanded the commentator, the reporter. And I thought it was, actually, I like the fact that he reprimanded the reporter, because why would you tell that? And we've seen this too many. Yeah, like we've seen it too many times now where like they're giving it away. There's that old Saturday Night Live back during the Kuwait War, or not the Kuwait War, the Gulf War. And they were like, so where exactly are we going to be looking to bomb? And he goes, well, we're going to probably be bombing this area. And he goes, no, specifically, like what? Do you remember that? That scene?
Norm Schwarzkopf's press conferences were the best.
Yeah, like it was just, you would sit there and just, tell. And so people were like, why are you doing that, dude? Like, you're giving them a chance to run or whatever, right? And so some people thought it was an inside job. Some people thought it was kind of weird. But the fact is, and I think we've seen that too much in our day and age with just being open and front with the media. And the media needs to learn to sit down and relax a little, right? And especially because it's been so it's been so leaning to one side or another. So the reason why I say this is nobody trusts news anymore. And there's a lot of lack of trust within the situation. So I'm looking at the market here and seeing the divergence between the
that was a bridge back to the topic.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why I'm talking about this, is seeing the divergence between the spot market and the futures market is one of those things you're like, typically the spot market wins out because that's where the cash is actually going in and out. Those are stocks. Those are the base that we build all of this stuff off of, right? And so a lot of the derivatives, a lot of our bonds, a lot of it based off of this. Our currency, when our currency goes down.
Welcome Chuck Jansen to the house.
Dr. J, que pasa, señor? Whenever you see the currencies go up, the US dollar goes up, typically our US market goes down, right? Meaning on the S&P 500. Whenever you see interest rates go down, you typically will see the S&P 500 go up. Whenever you see the currency and the rates go down, typically you really see our US market go up. And so I bring this up because rates are going down. Right, we know that we've talked about that. We know that Jerome wants to drop rates. Right, our 1 month is now down at our level of the 4.32 area. Right, when you look at the 30-year yield, it's now above. So it's like the what was the inverse? I forget what it's called when the long term is short term invert rate. There we go, inverted rate yield.
Sorry, that was me.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I told ADD to, and I was like, Lord. Sorry. Sorry, I'm such a dork. Anyways, so we're watching the inverted yields finally come back into play, right? We're seeing short-term yields go down, long-term yields kind of go up, but they're still going down. But it's just one going slower than the other, which is a good thing, which is what we need to see. But again, we're seeing yield go down, which should push the market up, and it's not. And so then we sit there and go, well, then if that's typically going to happen, we should then see our US dollar go up. Right now, one of the biggest issues that we always talk, and I've brought this up a couple times, right? There are two things that I typically look at, right? The ruby, I always mess up the rubial. No, not the ruble. The rubil,
What country?
The Indian, India.
Rupee.
Rupee. I always mess it up. Rupee. Does that say it right? Rupee. India. All right.
RUPEE. Rupee.
Yeah. Rupee. There we go. There we go. So we're seeing, so this is the US dollar rupee. So it's inverse. And we're watching the down. Okay. This is typically, and I'm actually pulling this from the euro dollar, but I've brought this up previous times in our show, right? We're seeing it go down. And where is this? Where's the inverse of this? USD futures.
Welcome, Shireen Spurgis. Shireen,
what's up, Shireen?
The better half of the Spurgis clan.
What's up? What's up?
But only because you're the one on the show. If Jason was here, then he would be the better half. So we're not playing favorites here.
BRIB, come on.
That's how that works. Welcome, Rumblers. Thanks for joining us over there.
Did they take this away?
Torches and pitchforks. Hope you're still watching. Please subscribe, like, follow, do whatever. Share with your friends while Pedro is figuring out the dollar to rupee. That doesn't look good for India, that chart right there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because of what's going on, we should see some stuff that should be happening and we're not. And so it's playing very unique. Now, here's the thing. Trump wants the US dollar to go down, right? Because Trump wants to see the US dollar go down because he wants to see industry come back here and have America actually have a good balance.
Makes it easier for manufacturing here if our dollar gets a little weaker.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, when people want to actually do business with us over, let's say, somebody else, if it's roughly about the same price, they want to deal with America because we have so many regulations in America. A lot of our stuff is high quality, So when we sell it abroad, like our cars and stuff, when we manufacture it here, people in other countries go, "Ooh, it's American made." It's typically lasts a lot longer. I know that we sit there and we badmouth the U.S. Manufacturing because it's home, and everybody makes fun of their brother no matter what.
No, I've participated in the U.S. manufacturing world for a long time, and it's the best in the world. It really is. And Germans are top notch too. Yeah. But the Germans have a lot of waste in their system that the U.S. does not have.
Right. And so, thank you. Appreciate that. Backing me up. But the reason why I'm saying this is we make fun of our own, but the truth is we do kick ass. I mean, and that's just real, and so the rest of the world knows that. So if they can work within the US dollar, or if they can work in the, sorry, somebody called me and I was like, stop. If they can work with America and be about roughly get a good deal or at least equal, they're going to work with America. That's just how it is, because they just know they're going to get a better product. So I say this because when we're looking at the rupee, typically a lot of stuff is manufactured in India. And so since it's dropping, that is a telltale sign that typically maybe there are some major issues really going on. So people are running either to safety, or people are running to to an area where they can keep a good balance for their dollar, for their country. And so we're watching the India. India is going through and putting major shorts on,
goodness gracious, the major shorts,
trying to suppress it because they're getting. Yeah, there's a lot of shorts going on the U.S. dollar from China, and obviously they're having issues as well, right?
And
China's
we're about to liquidate those shorts.
Yes. So this is the key that I'm about to say is right now, because of that, the U.S. dollar is pumping, and it's pumping strong, like it is strong like bull. Like, look at this here, and so it could potentially hurt a lot of people around the world. And basically kind of screw over the demand, us, right? As well as a lot of the manufacturing outside within China, India. And so that's why I'm looking at the US dollar, in addition to why we're looking at the ES, right? Which is the futures side of the S&P 500. And then watching the S&P 500, and I'm sitting there, the spot market, and going, who's going to win? What's going to happen? We're kind of at this like pendulum point where it's like really like teetering, like it's kind of freaky. And so you're like, well, what does this have to do with crypto? Great point, Pedro.
I was letting you go with that one, but we know you're going to round it in here.
I am. I had to give you a backstory to build it up so that we can actually understand what's moving, what's populating up in this mix here. So Bitcoin, right? Potentially, and this is what blew me away. Jerome Powell actually called digital assets or a digital gold as in crypto, which kind of blew me away. I was like, what is going on? So I think what we could see if everything starts to fall apart, right? Trump gets in office, things start to go crazy, right? Basically, the Democrats go, oh, screw it, whatever, right? They're selling off the wall. They're selling off all this other stuff, right? As this stuff is happening, I think we're going to see the transition kind of go crazy. I think we kind of like when Obama first stepped in the office, everything fell apart. Remember when he came in? It potentially could happen that way. We could see a dramatic fall. Hence, we could see a drop in Bitcoin here. And then when it sells off, we could potentially see a major buy by the US government as a digital asset gold backing system that we've been talking about. Also, in doing that, we also could see a lot of the rest of the world go through and go, shoot, we need something. So we could see a big push in gold. But what's so interesting, speaking of gold.
Hold on, I gotta stop you. You know what's even more interesting?
What's up?
Pitmonk is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, Pitmonk!
Baby! What's up, man? It's good to see you, dude.
Coming to us all the way from, I think, somewhere north of London, but south of York, somewhere in there.
London?
Somewhere around there. Welcome, Pitmonk, back to the house. It's been a while.
It is good to see you.
And I forgot to throw throw some praise to Carmen Crypto. Pedro, I'm just gonna take the screen for a second to plug Carmen's website. She finally got her new website launched. Degen Tales. Your story, our strength. Stories from the crypto Degen. Submit your story now. Click on the topics below and submit. All-time high, confession session. What does that one say? Block props. Want to give props to someone else? Carmen is putting together a collection of stories to publish them on the internet, all about crypto. And if you've got a good story to tell, you can tell it anonymously. Go ahead and put it over there, whether it's good or bad, whether you got rugged, ruined, or wrecked, whether you made fat bank, or whether you got on a cool YouTube channel like ours and told your story. Go over to Carmen's website, carmencrypto.com, and her website, Degen Tales. Your story, our strength. Stories from the crypto Degens. Yeah, sorry, had to do that.
No,
all right, back to gold.
Back to gold. So it's interesting to see. I would expect gold then to start to see a big uptick, and we're not, which is really, we're seeing a bit of a sell-off on gold. So this could be a good sign saying Bitcoin potentially could become the gold. And like I always say, if it's going to shoot up, right, we'll see a sell-off first and then a rally up. So I'm kind of expecting, if things start to fall apart, expect a sell-off and then a rally up. And I think people will just, I think the government will just buy an open market, as well as a lot of the banks will as well. I think when that dip happens, it's going to be a big dip and then just skyrocket after that. So I'm kind of excited about that. So there's these little things that are kind of setting up for crypto. That's unfortunately a good thing for us, right? If everything falls apart, then, and a lot of people are starting to look at us. I mean, and the fact that, I mean, I hate to say it, but Michael Saylor keeps buying at the top, which basically allows for the institutions to take profit and take the other side, which is really good for them. Which just is, right? He's just like,
Michael's not buying from the miners. They don't have that much to sell. No. The miners are low on it. The exchanges are low on Bitcoin. There's even, have you seen the proposal now to just redefine the term Bitcoin into a sat?
No, really.
So 1 Bitcoin would equal 1 sat. Just change the terminology and get rid of the decimal points. There's a BIP, okay. the Bitcoin, what do you call those things when they put it to a vote amongst everybody?
A consensus meeting.
Yeah, something like that. And so the idea is having all these decimal points, 100 million places to the sats per Bitcoin is kind of ridiculous. Let's just redefine it as something much lower. And then it's like a stock split, because, when a stock price gets too high, people get turned off from buying it, the retail people, because they're like, oh, I can't even buy 1 share, even though you can buy parts of shares of stock. It's a mental block. And so there's an actual BIP out there, whatever you call it, to just redefine Bitcoin as 1 sat and get rid of the decimal places altogether. Obviously, it wouldn't get rid of the decimal places in the price, because it would add
right
9 decimal places to the left, to the right.
Talking about when you imagine when you go to your wallet, right, and somebody doesn't realize it, they've been away from Bitcoin, right? They're like out there traveling the world and enjoying life, and they come back and it's switched on, and we're like, what? Like, dude, you talk for a brief second, you're sitting there. It's almost like when you have the little mess ups in crypto with your wallet, and it shows like you're a millionaire for a minute, and you're like, I'm a millionaire, so right. Anyways, so jumping back here,
Pitmonk just asked, he came in a little late, he said, what level is it you think it's coming back to before it actually goes up to 110, 115 and stuff? And you had previously drawn lines around the 105, but you had just adjusted it during the show, didn't you?
Yeah. So it was this area right here where we talked about. We were coming down into this area about 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. And I said this needed to turn red, right? Or this needed to turn green for us to sit there and see it go up, right? And I said, we need to make sure if this doesn't turn green, this candle here, then most likely it's going to continue down, which is what we saw. So we came up, it went up first, creating the wick, and then it sold off, came back, touched the 8 period, and you can see here now that 8 period moving average is playing. So we are coming up to the top of the bottom of the hour here. So we're coming down to our area right here, and I'd expect us to see some type of play here. So let me pull up here real quick, bud. So we'll see. It's hitting that A. It's going to be boom. Yeah. It's 2 hours. So this one's starting to play through here. It's actually going to most likely cut through. It's going to cut through this because I can already see they're going to do it. They're going to wick it down.
Get to that moving average.
Yeah.
Yellow one.
Yeah. Which is going to be the 2 hour area here, but this is still weak area because we already pierced it. So you can probably come back down and tap this, our original lower area right here. But the fact that they tapped this, they already picked up all those buyers. So
is that the 20 period there, your yellow one?
Yeah.
My 20 period is orange.
Huh?
My 20 period is orange.
Yes.
You told me it should be orange.
Yes. You're right.
Is yours yellow or orange?
It's orange.
No, it's just the screen.
Yeah, just scale. Yeah. So again, the colors are arbitrary. It's just a quick reference for my brain to go, that's the 20 versus them all being the same color. Right. So it could be gray, it could be purple, it could be target color, red. It doesn't matter, but it's just I use it because it helps me quick reference. So you can see here right now we're playing off of this level here on the 4 hour.
So if it wants to come down and meet that either the 2 hour or the 4 hour, it's going to do it. It looks like it'll meet it right in that 105 250 to 105 010 area.
Yep. That's exactly. So we're just basically this is that kind of give and play. We're waiting for them to establish where they want to go with this. We just
push. That's Pit Monk. I'm going to try and point at this. The moving average. You put up a different chart. I don't know.
Go ahead. Okay, wait. Where do you want me to do? Go ahead.
The last chart.
2 hour. I just put back up the 2 hour. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm all confused now.
This is the 2 hour. This is the same that we were just looking at.
But before the moving average I was looking at was below 105. Maybe you're on the 4 hour.
Right here?
Yeah, the 4 hour.
Okay.
So right here, this moving average here coming up is the 20 period moving average. And Pedro had previously told us that his liquidity areas were here, where there's likely orders and other types of stuff going on here. And it's up here. So and I try to keep going over these because I'm fine. After all this time with Pedro, I'm finally learning this properly. Is that this is going to come down, not all at once, but in 4 hour candles down to the 105 area and meet this moving average somewhere in here. And it will either bounce off and go moon, or it'll find weakness and drive through and head towards the next level. And obviously we'll figure that out as the closer we get to it. So right now 105 seems to be the area, and it looks like it's going to happen in, 4 or 8 hours. Or it could happen in 5 minutes and just tank,
I was going to say, or it could just drop, right?
Just whammo.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right, I'm done. The traders are done for the day. They let it consolidate, and then Asia takes it over and pushes it up.
Pitmonk says, just amazing what's happening in crypto. What a time to be alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, so I kind of gave us a good little broad view of what's actually happened in the economy that I'm looking at. And granted, I am not an economist. I'm not going to pretend to be one, but I do look at the charts, and the charts, I can see sellers and buyers coming in and out. So to me, I think what's more important is where they're putting their money at, right? Like, and you can see it in the charts. So you can sit there and tell me one thing, just like when, like, Warren Buffett was saying that he had nothing to do with crypto and it's all garbage, but yet he's buying up banks and institutions, or banks and the gaming companies that are looking to, change their whole entire system to digital assets versus traditional finance, TradFi. And so he was putting his money where his mouth was not saying. And so to me, you can see that in the charts of where people are buying and where people are selling. So I'd expect us, the fact is that we're seeing this go up, we're losing strength there as we're pushing up. So I think we're going to come up to that 110 area and then see a sell-off back down to that 100 area again, and then find support like that 101, 102 again, and then see it pick back up before I think the great and dreadful drop that we'll see, and then skyrocket and fly. And we might never even see that drop, but I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see a drop here with Bitcoin, and it's going to be one of those areas. So I'm always checking out Bitcoin to see if it's come down yet or not. So we'll see. With that said, let's check out Ethereum and potential areas that we could be capturing Ethereum.
Ethereum. Always the second-class citizen. It has no fame, just some shame. Ethereum.
All right, so you can see here, Ethereum did try to capture the new high, local high here, and we came almost to, actually it did. I quickly branched through it before. So it did create a new high yesterday. Of course, whenever I always talk about creating new highs, it always will sell off back to the trending area that it's looking to find trend on. To me, I use an 8 period right here, so I expect us to come back and tap this and then continue on along with that. What I find even more interesting is that last week we sold off to the 8 period moving average, took the liquidity below this candle, and it continued up. But just like I talked about that candle earlier on that 5-minute chart, it needed to turn green, right? Well, this candle needed to turn green, and it did not on the weekly chart. So my hypothesis is we're going to see a continuation of this sell-off even down into these lower levels again, which is going to be around that 3,500 for Ethereum as we come down into this week. So it could range. I mean, I'm pretty positive it's coming down at least to that 3,700 and potentially coming down to that 3,400. So if you're looking for a good short there, that would give you some good distance here. If we start to show major weakness, expect to see it kind of come down to these lower areas. BNB. Now, BNB has been really interesting, right? It keeps making this. BNB.
Sorry, I don't have the sound effects machine going, so I'm doing them manually.
BNB.
Like a shit horn. BNB.
BNB. All right, so here we go. All right, we hit the all-time high here, and then we saw a bit of a sell-off, but we're trying to find support potentially on that daily and weekly 8 here. So you can see we sold off last week, but you can see here, right, it's holding. So this, I think we could sit there and see a holding pattern in here. Granted, it did not continue red, or did not in green, but here we have no wick, right, which shows weakness. to the downside. So which means it could probably go sideways here until we see it continue up into that new all-time high. And I think we could see another 800 potentially. This thing,
800 on the BNB?
yeah, dude, definitely. So as it continues up here, it's one of those things that
I was waiting for the comment from Crypto Mike. He comments, my beans.
My beans. I know. So it's pretty nice. There we go for BNB. My biggest key though is you want to see it hold on that daily 8 and 20. If it doesn't hold, then we're going to see it come down and tap this lower level of that 641 area and then continue up. So there you go. Let's go. XRP again showing more strength coming in. We came last week, tapped our area here on the daily, and then started to continue up. So I was hoping to see a sell-off down there. We talked about it selling off down to these lower levels, but that 20 period played strong here and kind of I was expecting to come down to the weekly 8 on the week, and it didn't, and I'm just kind of like, man. So it looks like it's showing strength here, and this is a good example of what I was saying with BNB. You see how this doesn't have a wick here on the previous candle, and see how we're showing strength. Potentially this could continue up into that next 308 area here, which is basically all-time high. So we're going to see what happens here, but I expect to see it
I don't know, Pedro. I'm on the fence with that today. One of the news items today that's making all the news is the Ripper stablecoin, the RLUSD, Ripple USD. It's still, there's got to be a better acronym than send me some RLUSDs. You know, I'm trying to get it to everyone just to say RIPS or Ripple. I don't know, whatever. This should be a sell the news event. I mean, people were buying it like crazy, buying the rumor, buying the good news coming out, good news. They launched on all these exchanges all over the world at one point in an amazing coordinated move that was probably not cheap by any means.
Absolutely.
But they launched. They launched on a bunch of big things. Did they launch on the CME? Did CME take them, or did that take a 10-year process to get them on CME?
Actually, I need to go check that. Well, here's the thing. XRP is already on the CME as a future. So this is like, you know, they talk about these NFTs.
The stable coins are not futures, and so it's different. But they want to be able to, people are going to want to pay and move in and out of accounts on that. I'm guessing the CMA makes you use fiat to get in and out of it.
Yeah, there's no way. Right? They're so old school. I mean, unless the government truly makes crypto. Here's the thing. If they can, like the Bitcoin futures was one of the first things that it was back in 2017, right? So it was a huge thing, them to become a commodity. XRP, I do not know if it's a commodity, but there is XRP futures, but it's traded literally through Binance. And so I don't really understand how that works. Right? Like I just don't understand. I mean, I'm looking at it right here. Let's see if I can pull it up.
I mean, BitFi has XRP futures on it. I mean,
yeah, but good point. And it is. Give me 1 second. Pull it up here real quick. Let's see here. Boom. Yeah, Binance, BitMEX. Yeah. So many of these, like the perps, the perpetual futures, the stuff that you can play in, like, yeah, it's Binance or BitMEX. Is that what they're using to get their data that they can actually trade through. And then you have Ethereum. You know, you just made me really think about something here real quick.
Oh.
If it's that, then
if
All right, so let's just check it out here real quick. You can actually, because I might have another thing to look at and trade. Let's see here real quick.
I'm gonna pop my screen up right here. This is the BidFi XRP futures page. If you want to short some XRP, this is what you do. You might get tarred and feathered if you admit that to anyone, though, because the XRP army is moon. And currently they're correct, because XRP has been moon lately. No matter how much I badmouth them over the past year. I won't say badmouth. I will say threw horse poopies at them. Horse poopies are not as bad as cow poopies in the smell and stench area. So,
Really?
But anyway, you can go to BitFi and think is Ripple overvalued, and you can short them. I just may do that for a very small trade, very small. And I've been posting. I don't know how many of you noticed. I've been posting BidFi gains in the DYR group. If you'll note, I have not been posting losses. But my next time I have a decent loss, I will post it. So you know that I'm just not some robot here. BTC is continuing to well, it did its down thing, and now it's going back up.
5 minute.
And it'll go back down. And then it'll go back up. And then it'll go back down. And it'll go back up.
Nah, it's going to continue down. So, yeah, it's coming back up. You can see how
tricking you.
You see how these red candles are extending longer, and then the green candles are getting smaller. Right, it's just they're pretty much staying the same size. So that just shows like it's just most likely going to hit off of this. Give me, yeah. So it's the first. So it's 2 hour mark here. 13. 11. They changed it. Yeah, that's what they did. That makes me mad. Anyways.
They keep changing it on poor Pedro.
Well, it's important because it doesn't allow you to see the market correctly. And the most important thing for you to see is the wicks for everybody. Like, that's what lets you know. And so they don't have it on a sequential period. So this is 8, 12. So this should be 8, 10. So you continue down. Boom. Pushed up first to go down. See how it's the top of the hour here?
Yep.
So it came through. I always talk about if it was supposed to be resistance, or if it was supposed to be support and it cuts right through it, then that area becomes resistance. So what happened, what that means is this: these guys right here, we're going to buy. Okay. A lot of people don't use stops, right? So what they'll do is they'll come in, the market will come sell off, will pull back to the area, and then they'll get out of their trade, which acts as sellers. And then this pushes down, and that's it. So buyers absorb sellers, previous demand became supply, hence becomes resistance, and then it sells off. So that's in a nutshell for that. But let's go ahead and keep going here real quick on the futures here real quick. I'm just curious to see the simulator.
Lucifer, welcome to the show. Good morning, Chumbalones and Chumbolinas. Thanks for joining us.
All these guys let you be in it.
Tom is not a robot. Nope, I am not.
He is not.
No matter how hard I try to get that super buff robot body. Although
Yes.
I did, you know what I did get? I went out and did a thing recently in which I had to get carded.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy carding me looks at it, looks up. And some of these stores, they doesn't matter what age you are, they card you. I'm like, dude, I'm obviously not 21. I can buy beer. Guy's looking at it. It's in a part of town where you got the security guard that checks your ID before you even go in the store, like a bouncer, just to keep it simple for the clerks. And he's looking at me, and he's a rather old, broken down black man. And it's very typical, like an Eddie Murphy character almost. And he looks up, and he looks at me, and he goes, "You're older than me." And he goes, "Look at his shit," and he points to himself. And he's like, and he's looking at me, and he's like, "I'm 55." And I'm like, "Well, okay, thank you, I guess." And he goes, "What's your secret?" And I'm walking into the place to buy booze. And I said, "Well, obviously whiskey." And he just turns and looks at me and gives me the fist pump. "All right, man." I said, "It preserves me." Come on.
Our goodness be there. It keeps you less stress. Less stress, man. Stress is the killer. On honestly, speaking of stress. So, yeah, sorry. Side note, yes, the CME, okay, CME has Bitcoin and Ether. And I knew that. I just didn't. I'm sitting there going like, could they have XRP? Or XR, or not XRP. Yeah, XRPL. You know, I was like, could they? But no. They don't have XRP. So, yeah. If they are trading it on that, and I do say you can see it. I can see it here. Yeah, but it's not. Remember how we were talking about how the CME through my special charts, right? They have those special charts for XRP, but it's traded through BitMEX.
They just have a relationship with them or something?
They must, because there's just no way. It's crazy. I don't understand how.
Oh, no, understando.
Yeah, and the other part is they can. So I'm gonna come knocking on their door, our providers, and say, once we've got a decent amount of followers and they're all making trades, I'm gonna sit there and say, look, I want you guys to do this. I have a couple of things I'm gonna request from them, saying, look, this will drive a lot of people to you if you can do this, because if these guys can, and they've been able to somehow pull from the blockchain all those buys and sell orders, and here's the thing, there are other organizations that literally, I mean, I forget what it's called, aggregate.com, cryptoaggregate.com. They aggregate all of the exchanges together, and then what's actually happening on the blockchain itself. So you can see it's already there. All you got to do is take the API, put it together, put it in a format which is readable, right? And that just takes a lot of work. But you talk about a sales product that you could sell to people. Shoot, dude. I mean, if I can sit there and look within the chart and say, it's kind of like how I do with the CME, that would just mean money for them. But they've got to build it, though.
Money.
So, anyways, as I digress, forgive me. Let's go ahead and go back here because I wanted to see if they did, and they do not. So XRP is not. So, what's next? Boom. Let's check out XRP. Did we do XRP?
We did. We did.
Okay, boom. All right, so XRP is going up. I see it's showing strength. It closed, above the previous weeks. Oh no, it did not. It came close, but there was no supply wick. That's what it was. So I'm expecting to continue up. TRX is consolidating. Came down to this 8 period almost, and now it's just typically. I actually do not know what's going to happen here with TRX. TRX potentially could be just coming off of that 20, but we could see a sell-off here. We saw it go up first thing Sunday, Monday. So the next level here for TRX would probably be down in these levels here. That I would expect to see it to come down to.
Wow, what time frame is that chart that you have on?
This is the daily.
Oh, that was a big move up one day and big move down one day.
Yeah, it doubled. It went from 22 to 45.
I remember talking about it when it did that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. So I think what's just interesting is just that their view that, I mean, and a lot had to do with the stunt that Justin Sun did, right? With the banana on a wall.
Right. Roland Rod, welcome to the house. Get your Vitameme. Stay healthy and wealthy with Vitamine. It sounds like a 1950s commercial. And today, Vitameme is our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro and I take Vitameme every day in order so we can stay healthy and wealthy. Isn't that right, Jane? Why, yes, Dick, it is.
Mm-hmm. What do you think I'm eating right now?
Pedro's always eating something healthy. Lucifer says, Infineon blockchain. Infineon going to be launching in January. Closed their pre-sales finally. I got to tell you, the guys from Infineon are very nice to let me post the show schedule in their TG. So I go around and play around in there every now and then, talk to people, but mostly I just listen and read people's posts. There are crazy people in the Infineon TG group. And I don't mean like internet crazy people. I mean like moon boys galore. The Infineon blockchain, it's coming out priced well under $1, whatever the price is. Already people are talking about it being worth $30,000. I realize everyone's optimistic at your project launch. I realize that. I've been part of launches, and you're like, man, this is definitely going to the moon. This is fucking going to the moon, boys. Then, of course, it doesn't. Or maybe it does, but it's 8 months later. I want everyone to be careful on the launch of that, because you don't want everyone to make big expectations, and then when it doesn't happen, it just does a normal launch, and all is good, and then people jeep. They're like, well, I didn't make $100 million today. You guys suck. Hate that. Kachink says only 30K. Yeah. I was reading some of the posts there, like, oh, imagine that. And that my pricing they call it the wife-changing money, not the life-changing money. Taking something from 0.0000 to 30,000 is like Bitcoin going from 1 cent to, in fact, it's even 1,000 times more than Bitcoin.
No, dude, but here's the thing. Bitcoin literally was below 1 cent for a long time.
It was like a half cent for a while.
Yeah, or I think it was an eighth of it. It was three zeros, 3 or 4 zeros, right? And then it went up and then came back down. But
it was a tenth of a cent. Right.
Yes. Yeah, it's 3 zeros. So that's crazy. I think that's crazy. Like when you think about it, like $100,000 from its inception to today is absolutely crazy. You talk about the greatest asset class within a 10-year, 15-year period that you could have been a part of.
And I wasn't at that point, and I should have been. I was too busy focusing on running my own manufacturing company, and I was fully absorbed in that. If I had just given 5 minutes to investing in things, I would have put money into Bitcoin. Yeah, good point. It's my son brought it up. And I was like, no, I don't have time to research that. It's going to be very risky, son. don't have a lot of money.
Here's the thing, though. It's not even an issue because, I mean, the truth is we're in the glove here. We're always listening and we're looking at, we're always looking for plays that we could get a part in, be a part in, and see what's up. Speaking of one of the plays, I actually wanted to check out one because I didn't check it out today. This one here, the Slimer one. I wanted to see.
Slimer.
I actually talked because I mentioned them yesterday. So I went in their chart or went in their group and said, hey, if I could get some love from you guys, that's cool.
And what happened with their chart, Pedro?
Nothing. It just sold off, coming back to an area of supply, or excuse me, demand. So it within 2-day period, it pretty much, I think it did it did a 10x. So it went from what is that? Actually, it would be best if I just did market cap. So from market cap, it went from 1.9 mil.
Lucifer, you may be behind by a little bit. Hit that live button.
Yeah, so it looked like it went from 1.5 mil, 1.56 to 14 mil. So almost a 10x.
Damn.
And so, yeah. And so I knew about it here the first day, the 19th. And I just have been watching. This is the guy that I told you about, Russ.
Yeah.
And this is the CEO of, or not the CMO of Shiba Inu. And so he had mentioned this, and so I was like, yeah. And he's called a couple of them that have just been bangers, and I haven't. So this is one I still haven't got into. I want to get into it. I'm kind of waiting for a pullback again. I was going to get into it and then just kind of chilled because it's on, a lot of his plays are on Ethereum. And I don't know. Ethereum is always a hard one for me to get into. So anyways, yeah, so that's why I wanted to check these guys out here real quick. They're doing a nice little pullback. So that 4 million, 3 million area is potential area that I'm looking to kind of get into right there. It's called Slimer. All right, and is our friend, here you go, GSB here, kind of pull back down to our demand
GSB.
area.
We haven't talked about GSB in a while. Gas station boner in you things. Pinto and crew over there.
Nice
no, that's that's GNU. You said GSB.
Yeah.
Oh, GSB is GameStop bets.
Yep. These were the guys over in not Russia. Where was it?
Poland.
Sorry. Yeah. Don't say that out here to a Polish.
Yeah,
person.
I had the right guy's names. The wrong project. Pinto and crew.
Pinto. Miss that guy. I wish he'd come back. But here you guys can see it came down into our area here. And it's probably going to see a little bit of either right here or down in this level here as a pump. If it continues up, we're seeing volume already step in. So hopefully it's able to capture their footing here and push back up. Let's go back to a couple of these top ones here. Dogecoin we talked about yesterday. Let's check out Matic here. Matic is coming back down. So we saw a good little pump off our area here. It's coming back down. So I think we'll probably come further into this zone where that 50 period moving averages. And that 49-cent area is kind of like where I'm really looking at to see us find some footing where we're going to see the next leg up from Polygon here. ADA is showing a lot more strength than Polygon. I thought this was going to come down to these levels here, but it's holding strong, especially sellers. They're holding the floor here for the sellers. So you can definitely see this thing potentially come back up to that $1.64 area for Cardano. And I know many of us were able to buy in at these low levels of that 32-cent area. When it came down into our top area, even came down to our lower area of that 28 cent. I thought we were going to come down further here, like to that 23 cent ultimately, but we did not. We found the floor here, and we just saw a skyrocket here. So, you know, I was hoping to buy up a little bit more, but hey, that's sometimes how it rolls. But from here on up, I'd expect to see us continue to that 164 area. The key is we've got to see it close above that 8 and 20 with volume. So that's going to be really important for us to wait and see. Solana here came down to our area of that 205. So pumped up. My friends over at Shogun area here, you know, I actually went on their show, and then one of the guys, I was like, yo, you called it. And I was like, thanks, man. So Shogun was like, I gotta admit, you were right. I didn't want to admit it, but you were trying to warn us. And so I was able to, hopefully those guys did listen to that. But now we're starting to find some footing here. And if this thing really starts to pick up in volume here, and we start to see it start to rally again, we should blow through this peak here of that 264 area. We want to see something like this in volume. Okay, this is the type of thing we want to sit there and see as it progresses up. So you can see here is the first couple of days, the last 3 days, we've had 2 pretty good, decent days of green volume. So hopefully it continues up. And as we continue, we'll see it just progressively get up even higher. Be careful, that $300 area could act as a mental resistance here at that 300 area. And so just be mindful if you guys are long there. Don't get too exuberant, take profit, but always leave a little nut bag there so that you can pick up some stuff.
A nut bag, he says.
Or that's the wrong word to say. You squirrel away your nuts, nut bag. Is that?
Yes, us guys do know that.
Yeah. No, not like that. Yo, do me a favor. Hit the
Oh, why isn't that coming through on here? You can hear that. I want the audience to hear that, Pedro, because someone just sent it to me. Shit. What? Hold on. I'm gonna
go ahead and do that. While you're doing that, I gotta use the biome break. Or if you want to do the 2-minute system while you get that taken care of, and then we can
I'm gonna work on this for you. Do that. I'll change the screen up here. And
alrighty, and I will.
Let's see. That's D. Let me get this into the show here. I'll just send it to my microphone. I'll send it to my microphone. My microphone is B2. All right. On behalf of Lucifer and the great crowd at Infinian, the Infinian Vision here.
Yeah, if we ain't on blazing, crypto on the mind. It's stacking pockets, money we find. Perpetual income, always on the grind. Futures here, blockchain's finally aligned. Hell leads the way, crypto kings rise. Ever appreciating, no disguise. Path for gold mine, cashing in the prize. New world dawn, into the vault we slide. This in the wallet, gains calling. It's an EO soaring, crypto's drawing. Perpetual flow, wealth soaring. Blockchain dripping. Never boring, digital empire takes second high. Crypto light flashing pitch in the sky. Dance with the bits, never say bye. Coin keep flipping, endless supply. Draco visionary, future in the code. Earning in perpetuity, paved gold. Our crypto dreams of seeds we sowed. Blockchain's empire, watch it explode. This in the wallet, gains calling. It's an EO soaring, crypto's drawing. Perpetual flow, wealth flooring. Blockchain dripping, never boring. It's in the wallet, gains clawing. Infinity on soaring, crypto's drawing. Perpetual flow, wealth flooring. Blockchain dripping, never boring. Yeah, yeah. Infinity on blazing, crypto on the mind. It's stacking pockets, money we find. Perpetual income, always on the grind. Future's here, blockchain's finally alive. Hell leads the way, crypto kings rise. Ever appreciating, no disguise. Path for gold mine, cashing in the prize. New world dawn, into the vault we slide.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Infinian Vision. Lucifer says, Tom, you are a G. You're a G. A G. Even got a little twerking in there. All you people watching on Rumble, this is, once again, this is the quality entertainment and education that you get on this channel. Not a lot of us on YouTube today, one of our slowest shows ever. But thanks to Rumble, bringing up the numbers over there, really appreciate it. I had a bunch of people watch on Twitch today. One person on Kick. And of course on X. We had a bunch of people tune in, but unfortunately on X, people only tune in for a small period of time, as they say. Yeah, all 8 of them. Well, I didn't tweet it out. So. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've been on the show here 2 hours now. That's enough for me. I'll wait for Pedro to come back. Check in and see how my trade is doing here. I am down $5 because the market came back and went back up when Pedro said it was going down. Let's see, let me find my other screen here. Oh, now I'm down $2. Okay, that's acceptable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play the old kick tracks. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that's how we roll, baby. Feed that back to Pedro so he can hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be on the air tomorrow. I'm going to be driving to Toronto tomorrow. I'm going to leave a little early because there's snow coming. So it'll likely be a Pedro show with me in the background just doing the producing. While Mrs. Striking drives in the snow. No, that's not going to happen. Likely just be Pedro tomorrow, depending on what time we leave. But for sure, it's going to be an earlier show tomorrow. We'll be at least starting at noon, not 12:30. So we'll be there. Thursday will be a regular time on the show. Pedro and I will both be at it Thursday. Friday for Full Rant Friday. Pedro and I are going to try. The holiday schedule is going to be all jacked up. So we're going to try some different times. We're going to try some Space Lounge evening chats with Carmen Crypto and whoever else wants to come by and do that. Pedro, I've decided to wrap up the show here. We've been on for 2 hours. I think I'm feeding you the show music this time. Sorry if it's too loud. As I was saying, Pedro, tomorrow I'm going to be driving to Toronto in the afternoon. We might have to leave early because of a snowstorm coming. Not snowstorm, but just snow. And so it may just be you on the mic tomorrow. And I'll set you up with a StreamYard thing. Thursday will be a regular show. And Friday, Full Rant Friday. Holidays or seasons coming up. Going to be all over the place with family and stuff like that. So pay attention to our socials for different times. Maybe a Space Lounge or two. That type of stuff. But it should be a good couple of days coming up. Only a week till Christmas, if you can believe that. It's crazy. A lot less than this. Well, it was much like today. It was much like today. Today on YouTube, we've only had 27 people, but we would have been ecstatic to have 27 people. Actually, I'm ecstatic to have 27 people today. It would have been our high for the era. Now it's kind of our low for the era. Muhammad, you got to us late. We were just playing the Infineon Vision song on here, but thanks for joining us. Looks like Lucifer brought you over here. Perpetual gains. Perpetual gains on the perpetuals. Oh, that's how it works, right? Perpetual, you just all make fat banks all the time. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Once again, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. This is my wonderful co-host, Pedro Garcia, over here. We are so glad to have had another episode under our belt here of DYOR Live. We will see you tomorrow.